Hello everyone, and welcome to Disney Saratoga Springs Resort. This resort is massive. It's got a huge footprint. I think it's right around 65 acres, over 800 villas, separated into multiple neighborhoods with multiple pools. So all that to say, I am getting my steps in today, that is for sure. So when I'm all sweaty and coated at the end of this tour, know that I walked all over this resort. But like we always do, we're going to start here with the lobby and kind of the main amenities around the lobby, and then we'll get to a map of this place and kind of spread out and show you the different neighborhoods and the pools in the neighborhoods. So let's waste no time and get right to it. As you walk in from the main drop-off area, the lobby is just up the walkway to the right. This is the carriage house. This is based off Saratoga Springs in New York. So let's get into the lobby and see where everything is. The lobby is beautiful and has paintings of all the Disney horses. You have Maximus over there, you got baby Pegasus, you got Philippe, I think that's a horse from Mary Poppins. And then as you come back this way, you come into a nice sitting area, and then down the hall is Artist Palette, where is the food court and the gift shop. We'll quickly look at some of the resort-specific merchandise here, and then we'll move into the food court. Again, the gift shop is the first thing you head into, and just immediately back to the right is where you find some DVC merchandise, because this is obviously a DVC resort. And then you come into your Saratoga Springs merchandise. You got this nice polo. I hope that green shows up good. That's a nice like light sage green. Saratoga Springs t-shirt. Their ears are cool, and like I've said in a lot of other videos, if you want some unique ears not everybody has, go to some of the resorts. So it's got horses, it's got first place ribbons, rider's helmet with Mickey ears, and then of course the horseshoe in the middle on the black bow. You have more Saratoga Springs polos, a towel, and this nice half-zip jacket. Of course, you have resort-specific pins, and then the Christmas ornaments, and of course, a Tervis-style mug, and then another glass kind of chalice down here. So there's not a large seating area for the food court, but I've never seen it crowded. I've eaten here a couple times. And here is the main entrance to the food court. And that's the gift shop we were in right there. You can kind of get some grab and go things here, but for the most part, there is a menu up at the checkout, which is right there. You order and pay there, you get a pager, and then they bring it to you. Or I'm sorry, they don't bring it to you. You come and get it when you're being paged. But some of the things they have here are the Saratoga brisket sandwich. So that's something unique here. And then they also have a cookie that I can't show you because everybody's piled over there. But it's made like a palette, like an artist paint palette, and it's got different color icing on it. As we continue moving out of the food court, there is the Turf Club Bar and Grill. And this is also where they do one of their signature events, which is a mosaic. And you can do that in a Mickey head, a horseshoe, or the Mickey-shaped riding helmet. So this is the Turf Club Bar and Grill. You can see they have entrees here range from like $20 to $40. It is a table service meal. It is only open for dinner, so it is closed right now. So we can walk through here, and also we can go down to where the boat picks you up for Disney Springs. Up here is the exit we came out of. That's the outdoor sitting section for the Turf Club Bar and Grill. And then just behind us is the boat dock that will take you down to Disney Springs, which is down the river that way. There's also a walking path that if you go around this way where you can walk to Disney Springs. It is a little bit of a hike. So if it is, in the upper 90s as it is today, I would suggest taking the boat. To reorient it on where we are, that's the Turf Club. That's where we just came back inside from where the boat dock is. Here is your artist palette food court. We are going to head out these doors. Now the back of this building has multiple doors you can get out of. We're just coming out this one because it's the closest. There's the main back door to the artist palette food court. There is the main entrance again. So now we're going to start checking out some of these outside activities and a map, starting with the main pool here at the Springs. Here is a map of this resort. We started down here in the Springs area with the pool and the lobby and all that. And then, heading to the Springs buildings. After that, I think we're going to head around here to Congress Park. And then probably up to the Paddocks. And then way up to the Carousel. And then somehow work myself all the way back down here to the Grandstand. We'll see how I can swing that. And then, of course, as part of this resort, you do have the treehouse villas, but there's a walking path to the villas, but I don't know that we'll tour them in this video. They were incorporated into the resort in 2009 after a 6-year closure for refurbishment. So let's get going and get all the way around this place. Before we get down into the pool, from the back of the building we just exited, forgot up on this level is Senses, a Disney spa. So if you wanted to book any spa treatments or anything, this is the Disney Senses spa. We do have a kids splash ground there with an awesome waterfall coming down. This here is the main exit to the big slide, which will show you where that entrance is. And then of course the pool, and they have a tiny slide over here for the smaller kids. Side they have a zero entry section, and then up across on the other side of the rocks, that's where you enter the stairs to climb up to get to the slide. And then they have the arcade over there, and they have a bar over here. And then just behind me is a hot tub, but it is absolutely slam full, so I don't want to just go over there and film that small section with all those people. The pool bar here does not have food at it. It says you can mobile order from the On the Rocks pool bar and get it delivered poolside. So that one is just drinks, but they do have a fountain drink section. So if you have your resort refillable mug, you'll be able to fill up there. Outside the pool corner here where the pool bar is, you come out and they have horse and around rentals. And this is where you can rent your Surrey bikes. Currently the window is closed here, and they're saying go into Community Hall to rent. And Community Hall is where you can rent videos, and they have like recreation activities for DVC members. And then just down the building from there is guest laundry if you need to have anything washed or wash it. So, and that kind of concludes our main area. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible as this resort is large, and I want to try to get to all of it. So next we're going to go over here and look at the Springs buildings. Here is a list of the resort activities. You got Community Hall open 10 to 10 daily, where you can do one-of-a-kind crafts, bar sports equipments, rent movies. You got the poolside activities here at the main pool. Mickey tie-dye, of course, like they have at every resort. They have Franklin Square campfire every night with the s'mores. They have nighttime trivia at this pool and nighttime bingo at the Turf Club Tuesdays from 7:30 to 8:30. That's really cool. And then of course they have their Under the Stars movies at the Artisan Palette just outside it, which is here. And there's their movies so far right now. And then they have the mosaics that we talked about earlier, and then the wind paint show. So very cool activities here, some unique to this and some like you see at all the other resorts. So I kind of passed right by the bus stop for the Springs. It is right there. It is just behind the pool. The rental bikes were there, and then it looks over this large pond with this fountain, and these are the Springs buildings. You have the one there on that side of the pond, this beautiful one that I am kind of behind, and then there's one right on the other side. So as far as being close to the amenities, these two spring buildings are probably your kind of preferred buildings. And then the other Springs building would be next. So we'll check out its location and then we'll head over, I think, to the Congress is where we'll go next. Traveled from that way. That is the back of the Springs building that we were filming in front of, and then you have across the parking lot here is the third and final Springs building, and I don't know if you can see it up there, but they all have their names on them, so you can kind of tell where you are by the center of the building should say which neighborhood you're in. We're now going to continue up this path and head to Congress Park and check out their pool. I don't know if they're showing up in the camera because they're down there in the shadows, but there's a massive amount of storks down here. I thought they were supposed to be off like delivering babies and stuff, but apparently they vacation at Saratoga Springs. We have made it to Congress Park. This is their bus station right off the road that goes between them and the Paddocks. These are the villas you see from Disney Springs across the water. So if you're out there thinking, oh, there's Saratoga Springs, this is what you're seeing. The rest of the resort's pretty hidden, but these rooms that face Disney Springs probably get a beautiful nighttime view with all the lights lit up. But there are 4 Congress Park buildings, and they all kind of surround this pool area, so we'll get back into it and take a look at them. So I have to tell you, this is my first time back on this Congress Park section, and to be right across the water from Disney Springs, it is surprisingly quiet and peaceful back here. I'll show you the pool. It's a smaller kind of wading pool, and they have a playground back here, but it is very quiet. And I mean, it's afternoon, so it's not like Disney Springs is empty. So we have 2 of the Congress Park buildings over here on this side of the pool. The one that's kind of the greenish color, and then you can see just under the trees the reddish color. And they have this nice old looking wooden playground here, and a nice area to barbecue if you'd like, with picnic tables in the shade. And then you have the Congress Park pool, which is just a small little wading pool with some stairs and some benches around it. And then you can see Disney Springs is right here. Out the back of the pool, they have this beautiful fountain and some seats in the shade to overlook Disney Springs. If you are staying in this building, it is much quicker for you to just walk down this path and walk to Disney Springs than it would be for you to go all the way back and catch the boat or a bus. It is a quick walk around because the boat docks are just right around that corner. And the bird that was on top of that fountain, there is one in real life. I don't know their names, but they swim just under the water and hunt fish. You can see them all the way around here. And what he's doing is trying to dry his wings off so he's able to fly again after a good swim. Here are our other 2 Congress Park buildings. The one right there, and then that is the furthest one, closest to Disney Springs though. And this one here that surrounds the other side of the small pool here at Congress Park. So that kind of takes care of our little Congress Park village. It's like I said, even though it's right on the water from Disney Springs, it feels super quiet and secluded. So I think next we'll head up to the Paddock, which has a bigger pool than Congress Park does. And I guess the way I'm walking around here, the Grandstand will be my last section, and it actually has my favorite pool. So let's keep this tour going and see if I can make all these steps. Here we are at the Paddocks. The Paddocks is 5 buildings, which is the biggest of any of the sections. I would almost consider this one way down here almost part of Congress Park, because it is the furthest from the Paddock pool, which has probably got the biggest water slide I've seen at any resort. But as you can see, we are here. We are just behind the pool, and this walkway is this bridge over the lake, which takes you right into the back of the springs area. So that fountain we first looked at when we started touring the springs, this walkway takes you to the back of that fountain. Then you just got to cross and you'll be right up here to the main pool. But I don't know why you'd go to the main pool when you have the Paddocks pool. So the Paddocks, here, we'll go down here to the bridge and look at them. Like I said, are very spread out, and we might get a good view of them from the bridge. So we'll check it out and show them to you there. So the Paddocks start down there with the blue, and then the second building here. And then we have the pool, which we'll explore in a second. The third building, the blue here, continues on. The fourth building is behind those trees you can't really see. And if you can see way down there, Kind of see the end of a building on this side of the lake. That is the last building of the Paddocks. So, and that is the first building of the Springs, or the last building, whichever way you'd want to say on this side. So let's get back across the bridge, and I think you can already see how big that slide is coming over there. But they have a pool bar, snack bar, and all kind of stuff going on this side. As we walk into the pool, it is a smaller pool, but it does have a zero entry side over here. And then this is that massive water slide. Starts off as a tube water slide before it opens up and curves you around and eventually dumps you down here in the pool. As you come around the zero entry side, you got the Paddock Grill, which has a drink refill station for your resort mugs and also has a variety of drinks and snacks. You do have a hot tub over here. Nobody's in it because it's 1,000,000 degrees like the surface of the sun. I don't think you can get any hotter. Wow, so they serve breakfast here, lunch and dinner. I want to try these blackened shrimp tacos. That sounds great, and I do love some shrimp tacos. You got desserts here, you got kids meals here, specialty cocktails and wine. This is like a full service restaurant out here at the Paddock pool. These resort pools do have a shaded section, which if you're like me and your body just loves to grow skin cancer, it's a great place to kind of chill out and get out of the sun. In the back here, behind the big water slide, they do have an awesome little splash pad, kind of your traditional splash pad. It has one of those big buckets on the other side that dumps water everywhere. Slides, little water slides, and a great place for the kiddos to hang out. And there is some shade in the back, which is always nice. We finally made it up around here to the carousel. Now this is a small section secluded up here at the very northern end of the resort, and it only has 2 buildings. So we'll kind of get in the middle here and check them out and show you what the carousel section looks like. Here we are in the courtyard between the 2 carousel buildings. This is kind of your view from the courtyard looking out away from the buildings. You got this beautiful pond, fountain across the street, the LBV golf club, and then way out there is the Springs section. So you have these 2 buildings, very secluded, very quiet on either side of this courtyard, and they have this cute little pavilion here that looks like a carousel, and this is where you have your barbecue. And sorry, I got distracted by a lizard. You know me, squirrel everywhere. This amazing little gazebo with ceiling fans and coverage. So a nice spot to hang out. Have this beautiful fountain. And like I said, it's just very secluded, very nice. You're super close to a bus station here, so you can hop on and off the buses and get to any other part of the resort or to any park. Now, I have my own personal preferences on where to stay and what kind of buildings I like, but I don't want to put those out there for anybody because everybody vacations differently. You know, me, I'm somebody that likes to kind of be in the middle of things for the most part, not like a long walk, but we have family and friends that when they're on vacation, they don't want to see anybody, which probably isn't Disney best for them. But we know a lot of people that come and just do resort stays. So, you know, you have like the carousel section here, which is super secluded and quiet, and you don't even feel like you're in the same resort as the busy Springs section or the Grandstand section. So it really depends on what your idea of the perfect vacation is to where you should stay. I don't want to say one building's better than the other because it's all on your preference. I think one of them that kind of mixes it the best is probably the Paddocks. So, you know, seclusion, come out here to the carousel. Middle of things, hit the Springs. Almost middle of things, the carriage. The Grandstand. And a nice mix between secluded and, you know, middle of things, the Paddocks. So we have finally made it to the Grandstand section. As you can see here, it is completely surrounded by the Lake Buena Vista golf course. And it is probably my favorite section. It has an awesome little pool, not as big as the main pool, but the Grandstand pool is cool, and we'll see that here in a second. And this little walkway is such a quick walk to get right to the main building and the amenities. So you're kind of off here to your own. You have your own pool. But if you want to come down here and enjoy everything the resort has to offer, it is a quick walk. So let's get to exploring this last section. Right now we are located in the very back of the Grandstand. That's the last building back here. This building is right behind it, beside it, sorry, and out that way is where the Grandstand pool is and the final two buildings. This is also where you'll find the walkway to the treehouse villas. You just walk kind of along the golf course here in between two holes, and I'm not sure if you can see through the trees there, but there's one of the decks. This area is so quiet and secluded you could hear a pin drop, with the exception of the sound of a golf shot every once in a while. It is super quiet back here. Now let's head up to the other two buildings that surround the pool and check out the Grandstand's amenities. Here we are at our final stop. You have the two remaining buildings for the Grandstand, the blue one there and the yellow one there, and they sandwich this pool section. Your bus stop for the Grandstand is just on the other side of those minivans there. And let's take a look at this pool. They do have a barbecue section here with some picnic benches under this awning with ceiling fans, very nice. And like I said, this pool is smaller, but it has so much fun stuff with it. Again, you have this cute little splash pad here that has the starting gates to the Saratoga Springs racetrack. And then all these like hobby horses squirting water everywhere. So much fun. And then the starting gates also squirt out water. Here is the little bit smaller pool, but it has these poles squirting out water everywhere. So it has fun features for the kids, but isn't quite as extravagant with the slides and everything that the main pool is. And then here you have a snack bar and bar. And they also have a drink station for your refillable resort mugs. Now it is nice, they do have foot-long hot dogs here, salads and wraps. They have churros, popcorn, fruit and cheese, pretzels, PB&J Crustables. So a lot of stuff, a lot of nice little snacks that you can eat at the pool while you're here. Well, thank you everyone for joining me on this tour of Disney Saratoga Springs Resort. It is a massive DVC resort, like I said earlier, 65 acres. Let's see what we put in walk-wise today to do this. 3 miles. Walked 3 miles for this tour. That's why the collar's getting a little sweaty there. But got to show you everything. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them or find you an answer and get back to you. And yeah, if you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe. I think it's like 90% of our viewers aren't subscribed. It costs you nothing, and we'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. So thank you again for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.